listening to the Life Edit Project podcast, where busy, ambitious high achievers get the tools they need to fight overwhelm and overthinking with balance, self-mastery, and a positive mindset. I'm your host, Elizabeth Burrows. I'm serving up bite-sized truth bombs in a judgment-free zone based on my perspective as a life coach, wife, mom, and recovering overachiever. We keep it real over here, which usually means some combination of insightful, entertaining, and a hot mess express. So, if you're looking for perfection, look elsewhere. But if you're still with me, let's dig into this week's episode. Good day, good people. Welcome to the Life Edit Project podcast. Whether you're new around here or one of my listener bays from way back, I'm glad you made it to my corner of the podcast world. This is the postseason, that magical time of year between seasons of original episodes when I revisit some of my favorite content that I've put out in other places and platforms and give them new life here on this podcast. Recently, I've been going through an IG Live series I did a while back on the different elements of my coaching philosophy. And today, I'm happy to be bringing you the fifth and final installment of that series. And I gotta say, it's a good one. It might even be my favorite conversation in this series. Today, you're going to hear me talk about accountability, how it's critical in my relationships with my coaching clients, and how accountability is a skill that allows you to make changes in your life. I was feeling a little feisty when I recorded this, so I don't tiptoe around this topic. In fact, if you're not in the mood to be called out on your own BS, just hit pause and come back later, because if you're looking to be coddled and comforted, this is not the episode for you, my friend. This is the one where I pose some tough questions for you to consider. And if you're not used to being held accountable, it may feel like an attack. So that's the disclaimer. Proceed with caution. But if you are ready for some tough love in the shape of accountability, keep listening. This will be incredibly helpful to you. I know it will be. And I even give you some tools that you can take with you to practice self-accountability in everyday life. And of course, if you're ready to step it up and go all in on accountability so that you can get to your goals faster, the best way I can support you is through my private coaching program, where we work together one-on-one. Just visit the link that's in the show notes to book a free consultation call with me to get started. I'm ready if you are, but you are the one that's accountable for taking the first step. And speaking of accountability, it's time to dive into the main course of this episode. So let's go. If you're working with a coach, any kind of coach, accountability is going to be a huge part of the process, because without it, you can't make any kind of lasting, meaningful changes. But what is accountability? How do you know you have it? And how do you know you need more of it? That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today in this video, because it's a huge part of what happens and what I use when I work with my clients. Welcome, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Burrows, and I am the founder and the creator of the Life Edit Project. I am a mindset coach, and I work with high-achieving professionals who have lost themselves at the bottom of their to-do list. I help them learn how to reprioritize themselves without guilt, shame, or overwhelm. And when I work with my clients, accountability is a huge part of what we work on. And it is because, one, I am holding my clients accountable for the results that they say they want, right? When my clients come to me, it is because something is happening in their life that is different than what they actually want for their lives. And so I am part of their support system that helps them bridge the gap between what they have and what they want, right? But what does accountability even mean, right? What does accountability look like? I am going to dig into that. So let me give you first a very super simple definition of accountability. It's not even a definition. It's really a description of what accountability means. P.S. If you try Googling accountability, like, good luck, you're going to get like a whole lot of confusing things out there, right? In the Coach Elizabeth definition of it all, accountability is the intersection of responsibility and ownership. The intersection of responsibility and ownership. And specifically, when it comes to coaching, as a client, you're trying to create different results for your life. You are trying to get something or be someone that you don't currently have or that you are not being currently, right? And getting what you want requires that you take both responsibility and ownership over what's happening in your life, right? When I'm working with my clients and we're talking about mindset work, this means specifically that people need to take responsibility and ownership over their feelings, their actions, and their results. Hey, Amanda. Hey, sis. Hey. So I help my clients take responsibility and ownership over their feelings, their actions, and their results, right? And why does this matter? It's for the simple fact that if you are not taking responsibility or ownership over your feelings, your actions, and your results, there is no opportunity for you to create change. If you cannot be held responsible for what you're feeling, what you're doing, and what you've gotten out of life so far, there is zero chance that you can create anything different. And if you believe that you don't own your feelings, if you don't believe that you own your actions, if you don't believe that you own your results, again, there is zero possibility for you to get anything other than what you've gotten so far. Right? So accountability is foundational to creating meaningful and lasting change. Just gonna start right there, right? When you are not being accountable to yourself, right? Okay, actually, let me back up. Let me say this. When people hire coaches, one of the biggest benefits of working with a coach is that you have someone other than yourself that is going to hold you accountable for what's going on, right? If you haven't mastered the skill of holding yourself accountable, a coach can be a great asset to helping you build that muscle. Accountability is something that we can all learn how to practice, and it is something that you are never done doing, right? But working with a coach can help you get better at it, and working with a coach can help you develop accountability around certain problem areas in your life, right? So I just want to start there, right? But how do you know that you even need more accountability in your life? Like, what does that look like when you're not being accountable for the life that you're living? When you're not even holding yourself accountable? So non-accountability, anti-accountability looks like this. And y'all know I'm glancing down because I have notes. I always have notes when I go live, right? Okay. So when you are not being accountable, it's going to look and sound like this. One, it's going to look like you waiting for somebody else to save you. Waiting for somebody else to save you. If you are always being a victim, if you are always seeing yourself as powerless and needing something or someone outside of you to rescue you, it is a good sign that you are lacking accountability. Again, because when you are being accountable, you are practicing both responsibility and ownership over what's happening. When you are literally just waiting for somebody else to rescue you, you're saying that you're not responsible for your own healing, or you're not responsible for your own change. You're saying that the ownership of the opportunity to have something different relies on somebody else. That is the opposite of accountability. And P.S., why this is such a big deal is because when you are accountable, you are empowered. When you are accountable, you are empowered. So important, right? And When you're waiting for somebody else to save you, that is a powerless position, a posture of powerlessness, if you will. When you're just waiting on somebody else, because it means that you're not the one that gets to start the change, right? So that's the first part. That's the first thing that that a lack of accountability can look like, right? The second sign that you need to work on your accountability is that you're blaming others for results that you have that you don't like. Blaming other people, right? And this might look like something as simple as, my house is always dirty because the other people that live here are always messing it up. That's blaming other people for results that you don't like. Now, it's not about whether or not other people are contributing to the results, but when you're blaming, you're literally offloading the responsibility and the ownership of that result to other people. You're like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, so there's nothing I can do about it. That is a powerless posture. And that is not how you create different changes, different results for yourself. Blaming other people for the things that go wrong in your life can look and sound like, oh, I got fired from that job because my manager was a hater. Really? Yeah, that's blaming other people. Listen, it's not about whether or not it's true that your manager was a hater, but is that a powerful posture for you to take in order to create something different? Oh, I don't have a man right now because there are no good men out there. That's blaming the people that you're not even in relationship with for your condition of not being in a relationship. That is a lack of accountability. Ooh, I just stepped on somebody's toes. Tough love. Tough love. I do it all in love, right? Another sign of you not being accountable to yourself, or you needing to develop more accountability within your own life, is this one right here. Believing that you have no choice. Believing that you have no other options. And this one can sound like, well, I've always been this way. Well, that's just who I am. Right? It sounds harmless. It even sounds really true, right? Because you look back and you're like, yeah, I have always been this way. I have always done it like this. But if you believe that you don't have a choice to be someone different or do someone different or show up differently in your life, how can you expect to get something different than what you've already gotten? Being accountable means taking both responsibility and ownership over what you got going on in your life. And working with a coach can help you. Good morning, Brian. Good morning. Y'all, your willingness and ability to take ownership and responsibility for your feelings, actions, and results is directly correlated to your ability to create a different life for yourself. I'm going to say that again. Your willingness and ability to take responsibility and ownership for your feelings, your actions, and your results is directly correlated to your ability to create a different life for yourself. If you are unwilling to take ownership over what you got going on, you can't do nothing about it. If you are unwilling to take ownership and responsibility for your feelings, you can't do nothing else. P.S. Not taking responsibility for your feelings sounds like this. We got into this argument because she made me so mad. Right? No one can make you feel anything. I know. Don't fight me. I know you like to tussle. No one can make you feel anything. Your feelings are yours. Your feelings are your response to whatever is happening. Now, hear me. I am not saying that just because your feelings are yours means that your feelings are invalid. That's not at all what I'm saying. When I say that no one can make you feel anything, I am not saying that you should or should not feel any particular way. That's not at all what I'm saying. You get to feel whatever you feel. Whatever feelings come up are your feelings, and they're valid because they exist, right? But when you are not willing to own your feelings, when you offload the feelings to other people and say, this person gave me that feeling when they did X, Y, and Z, you're not owning your feelings. You can't take responsibility for your feelings from that place. And if that's the case, then you can't do anything different. You can't choose any other feelings. You can't react any other way than the way that you've always felt or reacted. Y'all, creating a different life for yourself begins with accountability. So, listen, I hope you're taking notes, because this that I'm about to give you is going to be a game changer. If you've never thought about the role that accountability plays in your life, I am about to give you 3 questions that you can use to develop more accountability for yourself. And you ain't even got to pay me. Free game, write this down. 3 questions that can help you develop more accountability, okay? The first question, write this down. What role did I play in this? What role did I play in this? When we're not used to practicing accountability, the default mode that our brains go into is looking around and scanning to see what everybody else is doing. Our brain is really good at saying, oh, this person over here is really good at that. This person over here is terrible at that. This person over here talked to that person over there and did 1, 2, and 3, and that's how we got here. And our brains are really, really good at missing out on all of this. How did I show up? What role did I play in all of that right there? We're really good at leaving ourselves out of the equation by default. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, right? So that is the first question that you can use to develop more accountability for yourself. What role did I play in this? The second question that I'm going to give you is this. What part of this outcome belongs to me? What part of this outcome belongs to me? So let's take, for example, you got fired from the job because your manager was a hater, right? So the outcome in that scenario right there is that you got fired, right? You got dismissed from your job. And the perspective is because your manager was a hater, but you get to ask yourself the question, what role did I play in my own dismissal, right? What role did I play in that relationship with my manager, right? If the story that you're constantly telling yourself is that my manager doesn't like me, and so my manager is always looking for the faults that I'm doing, my manager is always harsher on me than they are on other people, right? Does this sound familiar, right? You get to ask yourself, what role did I actually play in all of that? If your manager is punishing you more harshly for mistakes, were you actually making mistakes? You get to own your actions. You get to own how you showed up in that. Your manager is always nitpicking. Were you going back and forth? Like, you get to own your part in that relationship. Now, this is not the same thing as assigning blame, because blame says somebody did something that was wrong that they should not have done. This is not about the shoulds and the should nots. It's simply about looking at what is and is not. And if you are unwilling to see the situation for what you have missed before, you can't get any lessons from it. You can't create anything different going forward. Right? That's a powerless posture, and I need you to do better. Okay. The third question that you could use to develop greater accountability for yourself is this: what can I do instead? I know it's a super simple question, Don't speed past it. It is powerful. What can I do instead? This question is powerful because instead of telling yourself or trying to convince yourself that you should not have done what you did, right? Or that you can't do what you did anymore, that those are the types of perspectives that are contracting. They cause us to contract. They make us feel smaller. They close off possibilities for us. And our brains don't react very well to that. But when you ask a question of what can I do instead? Or what else could I do? It's an expansive question. It's a question that opens up possibilities and allows you to see new potential. And that opens up the door to creating a different result going forward. What can I do instead? What else could I do? Right? It's not saying that what you did was wrong. It's just saying that there are other options. Right? Because remember, when you believe that you're out of choices and have no options, that is a sign that you are not being accountable. That is a sign that you are taking a powerless posture in your life. And we don't play that over here. If you're working with me, I will stop you. First, I will point out when you are taking a powerless posture. And then I will offer you an opportunity to take a powerful posture instead. That's what I do with my clients. I don't make my clients do anything. I simply hold my clients accountable for creating the results that they came to me saying they wanted for their own lives. And the way to do that is to acknowledge the role that you're playing in your own life, to acknowledge your actions and what part of the outcome you own, and to acknowledge the possibilities that you can show up differently. That's the way, y'all. That's the way. And sometimes that means I can't keep showing up the way I've been showing up. Sometimes we say that we want some things, but we also say we don't want to change. We say we want to lose weight, but we don't want to change the way we eat, or we don't want to move our bodies. We say we want a relationship, but we don't want to spend time with anybody. We say we want to make more money on our jobs, but we don't want to develop any new skills or actually change jobs. Y'all, part of my work as a coach is to hold my clients accountable for creating the results that they say they want. I get to help them find their responsibility for what they're creating and what they've got so far. I get to help them find their ownership within the life and the situations that they already have. This is literally the work that I do. And this is not me telling my clients that they should do or be any particular way. There is no should. The should is whatever you decide you want it to be. That's the way I work anyways. That's the way I approach coaching with my clients. So, I don't have much else, y'all. That was the extent of this. But listen, some of you all have never heard accountability talked about in this way. You've never heard accountability explained in this way. And some of you are thinking, right now, wow, I wonder what would happen if I actually took responsibility for what I've got and I took ownership for what I've got going on. I bet I could actually create a different life for myself. And here's the trick. You can. You absolutely can. And you don't even technically need me. You don't need to work with me to do that, right? You can use just the concepts that I've given you in this one little video to do that. But here's the thing. If you're unwilling and unpracticed with holding yourself accountable, you're going to take this information and you're not even going to do anything with it. That is also a sign that you have an underdeveloped muscle of holding yourself accountable. Now, and when you have the desire to build the muscle and to be more accountable within your own life, but you have the underdeveloped muscle and the underdeveloped ability to do it by yourself, this is a great opportunity for you to work with a coach. Because a coach helps hold you accountable. And a coach will help show you how to hold yourself accountable. And you get support and guidance along the way. So you can absolutely do this work by yourself, but just know that you don't need to. So if this has been helpful to you at all, you can absolutely, if you want to, if you're willing to, you can work with me as your coach. Remember, I'm a mindset coach. So I help my clients create new results for themselves by helping them build systems of thoughts and beliefs that help to create those new results. Right? So it doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to work on, right? Your relationships, your health, your career, right? It doesn't matter what it is you're trying to do. You can develop a mindset with greater accountability that can get you there faster. And I can help you do that. If you're interested in working with me, drop me a DM, right? Let's talk about it. And then you get to decide if I am the coach for you. Okay? Because listen, I'm not for everybody. I am not the coach for everybody. Okay? But just know this, even if you're not ready to take the step of being held accountable by somebody else, right? Because sometimes, listen, that whole idea can be really scary. I know. Really intimidating. I know. I've been there, right? You get to practice holding yourself accountable. Here's a great way to do that. Just follow me. Follow at Life Edit Project. Follow me here on Instagram and practice applying the concepts that I'm sharing. Practice applying the tools that I talk about. Just practice it on your own. Listen, if you do any of the stuff that I talk about on any regular basis, you will absolutely see results for yourself. And you get to create that for yourself. You don't have to. I'm not going to make you. But just know that when you're ready to push yourself further, to create those results faster, to finally get there, to finally take responsibility and ownership for the future that you want to create, when you are finally ready to do that, I am here and ready to work with you. Y'all, again, I'm Elizabeth, the founder and the creator of the Life Edit Project. I'm a mindset coach. I help my clients create new results all the time, over and over again. I would be honored to support you through coaching. So that's what I have for you today. I hope it was helpful. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Listen, I am going to end this video and then I am going to do my morning workout. Since we're talking about accountability, one of the new practices that I developed for myself, I'm holding myself accountable for working out every single weekday. And I started this at the beginning of this year, 2022. And let me just say, y'all, I have only missed one day. And the one day that I missed was not because I slept in or I didn't want to, whatever. It was literally because I injured myself working out the day before. And I needed to honor my body by letting it like rest and heal so that I didn't injure myself even further with another workout, right? So, and for me, the accountability is not about just making sure I get in that workout no matter what. It's about being accountable for the person that I desire to be by being someone who has a regular habit of moving my body and of exercising in order to be healthier. Like, that's what I'm over here trying to create. That is who I'm over here being. And me taking a day off from working out or skipping a single workout in order to allow my body to be well, to heal, does not contradict that. I was still holding myself accountable for being more healthy by refusing to injure myself more just for the sake of not missing a day. So I just want to offer that because some of y'all will get really hung up over holding yourself accountable and being like, I have to stick to the rules and do it a certain way. Y'all, what is it you're trying to create? That's where the accountability comes in.
All right, I'm done snatching the edges for now. You can relax. Hit me up on social media and let me know what you thought about this episode. My handle is @LifeEditProject in all the places, so holla at your girl. I'll be back in your ears next week, and we're going to switch gears a bit as we head into the holiday season, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out. Until then, take responsibility and ownership of your power and potential to create whatever it is you want to get out of life. All right? Peace.